All right, guys. So here's another story. Try and keep it down. But again, back to that Fallujah situation. So the first time I went on a mission with this team, I was first time with them. So we went out in 3 SUV type vehicles, and I was the front vehicle rear gunner, which is not my normal position. And I used to do a lot of the time. I used to do rear gunner in the rear vehicle, which is a whole separate story. And the way it works is you're in the trunk, and it's a B6 armored vehicle, so you can't fire out of these vehicles, except if you're in the trunk, and the rear windshield and everything is replaced by like a metal thing, and there's a hole in it, and that's for shooting out at the back of the vehicle. Hence rear gunner, and the rear gunner is armed with a squad automatic weapon, and with a belt of 200. And so this was really retarded. Okay, so this team was made up entirely of Royal Marines and Parachute Regiment dudes, and I'll just tell you it was Royal Marines that did this. Oh no, I didn't say that. Team leader. So our mission that day was to go from Fallujah up to Ramadi, go into Ramadi Fob, whatever it's called, and then we were supposed to go up to Al Asad. And the way it worked with Al Asad was you kind of go out of Ramadi and you kind of go north, and there's some kind of like bridge in the desert. I have not great memories of it. And there's a marine checkpoint on the bridge, and then you go over the bridge, and then there's it's called like the oil road or whatever. It's just a straight, not a proper road, and that goes straight up to Al Asad, and that route is checked and cleared. But when we got to that road, it was chock-a-block with trucks. And we were like, we're going to get stuck behind here forever. We're never going to make it up to Al Asad. So the team leader made the decision to take the alternative route, which goes up via all of those villages, like is it Haditha and all those villages on the side of the Euphrates, like places where bad stuff happens. So we drove up through all these villages, and we got to Al Asad, and nothing happened. Okay, but this is the moral of the story, is that we always tell you that if you go on patrol, you go out one way and you come back another way. All right? So we get to Al Asad, we complete whatever business we've got to complete, we have a Subway sandwich, it's all cool, and we get back in the vehicles, and the team leader makes the call that we're going to go back the way we came. So we take these roads and we go back through all these dodgy villages, and of course, so they've seen us go up, they're waiting for us to come back, okay? So we get ambushed. And what it was, this was unlike the previous video, which was like a kind of a long-range ambush. This was close range, because we were on the road, and there was an embankment. And I'm in the front vehicle, which is a Toyota Land Cruiser, so there's not much space in the trunk. I was pretty uncomfortable. And I'm looking back along the 3-vehicle convoy, and there's a second vehicle which was massive. It was some kind of Escalade, like a big white Escalade, and that was normally, if that was the center vehicle, and if we had clients, then they would be in that vehicle, and then there was the rear counterattack vehicle behind that, which was a Suburban. And suddenly, from next to this white front offside of this vehicle, massive explosion. Okay, so it's obviously some kind of IED, like a shell or whatever that's been put by the road and has been detonated. Okay, and so this just goes whoomph, and it kind of blankets the white vehicle, but then as I see it, it kind of continues to drive through, so it hasn't been hit, or it hasn't been immobilized, and it's coming through. And then I've got the saw in the front vehicle, and I can see the ambushes from the left up on the embankment, so I'm able to move myself into the window and start dumping rounds at the ambush up on the hill, and nobody gets immobilized. We all just drive through. And that's another issue, is if you're going to ambush some guys, you need to stop them in the kill zone. And most of the time in Iraq, Afghanistan, we were not stopped in the kill zone. Okay, and that's what enabled us to enables us to survive. If a vehicle gets immobilized in the kill zone, then that changes the story. All right, I got to get off.